Most people think money is about having more. But the truth is, money is about how you think. The rich don't just earn money differently, they see it through an entirely different lens. They play a game that most people don't even realize exists. So here's the real question. Why do some people seem to attract money like gravity, while others can't seem to hold on to it no matter how hard they work? The answer isn't luck, it's mindset. The rich don't just make money, they make money work for them. And the biggest difference between the rich and everyone else is how they think, what they value, and where they put their attention. This video is about exactly that. Not the cliches about working hard or saving pennies, but the mental playbook the wealthy actually use. Because once you understand how they think, you'll start noticing the rules they live by, the ones that schools, jobs, and traditional advice never taught you. Let's start with a simple but uncomfortable truth. Most people think like consumers. The rich think like investors. When Grant Cardone was asked what separates the rich from everyone else, his answer was simple. The wealthy invest in assets that cannot be consumed. Think about that for a second. Most people spend their money on things that disappear. Clothes, gadgets, cars, vacations, stuff that loses value the moment you buy it. Meanwhile, the rich buy things that grow. Stocks, real estate, businesses, art, even ideas. And here's the part that hurts. Most people think they're being responsible when they buy a house, a car, or upgrade their phone every 2 years. But that's not wealth. That's consumption disguised as comfort. The rich know something everyone else forgets. Money is a tool, not a trophy. It's meant to move, not to sit still. And when you stop spending to consume and start spending to create, your entire relationship with money changes. Most people never make that shift because they were raised in scarcity. They believe there's only so much to go around, that if someone wins, someone else has to lose. But here's the first rule of rich thinking. The rich operate from abundance, not lack. People with an abundance mindset see opportunity everywhere. They don't see other people as competition, they see them as potential partners, collaborators, or customers. They grow the pie instead of fighting for crumbs. They help others win because they know that wealth expands when it circulates. When you believe money is limited, you hold on too tightly. You play small, you hoard, you hesitate. But when you understand that money flows to value, you start focusing on creating value. And that's when it begins to flow back to you. The rich don't ask, how can I get more money? They ask, how can I create something people will pay for again and again? That tiny shift in thinking changes everything. Here's another mindset difference. The rich think in decades, not dollars. Most people panic about the next paycheck. They live month to month, always reacting, never building. The rich? They plan in decades. They make decisions that might not pay off today, but will compound for years. If you look at how investors, entrepreneurs, or property developers think, you'll see it's all about the long game. They buy assets that may look boring in the short term, but grow predictably over time. They reinvest profits, they delay gratification, they don't chase trends, they build systems that make money while they sleep. Grant Cardone often says, you have to live in your investments. He means that the day will come when your active income slows, your career peaks, your energy drops, or the market shifts. When that happens, your investments become your safety net, your new paycheck. That's why the rich focus on building streams of income that don't depend on their time. For them, money is not something to earn, it's something to multiply. And that brings us to the next key shift. The rich say no to stuff and yes to growth. It's ironic, the people who can afford anything are usually the ones who buy the least. They're not showing off. They're learning, networking, improving. They spend on things that build their skills and expand their influence. Look closely and you'll notice a pattern. The middle class buys things to look rich. The rich buy things to become richer. They don't chase status symbols, they chase systems, assets, and information. While one person drops $2,000 on a new TV, the wealthy spend that same money on a course, a coach, or a small investment that might double next year. It's not that they don't enjoy nice things, it's that they buy those things after their assets pay for them. They let their money buy luxuries, not their labor. That's the difference between looking rich and being rich. And here's the truth few want to admit. Saying no to consumerism is one of the hardest disciplines to master. We live in a world that constantly tells us to buy, upgrade, treat ourselves. But wealth is built not from what you earn, it's built from what you keep and grow. Every no to a useless purchase is a yes to your future self. Another thing that separates the rich, they build businesses, not savings. Most people were told to save money, put it aside for a rainy day. But money sitting in a bank isn't safe, it's shrinking. Inflation eats it alive. The wealthy know this, which is why they don't just save, they invest. They build vehicles that grow faster than inflation. A business, a property portfolio, a fund. They create assets that make money without their constant involvement. Think about it. Your salary has a ceiling, but a business that has no ceiling. You can only work so many hours in a day, but your money can work 24/7. That's why the rich put their cash to work. They let it circulate, multiply, evolve. While most people spend their lives working for money, the wealthy spend their lives making money work for them. And yet, money alone isn't what drives them. Here's the next big difference. They focus on impact over income. At first, this sounds contradictory. How can focusing less on money make you richer? But think about every truly wealthy person you know. They didn't just chase money, they solved problems. They built products that made people's lives better. They added value to the world, and the money followed naturally. This is one of the biggest mindset shifts of all. The poor think, I need to make money. The rich think, I need to make something valuable. When you focus on impact, you attract more opportunities. You build trust. You create loyal customers. You build reputation, and reputation compounds just like money. Look at companies like Apple, Tesla, or Amazon. They didn't just make money, they changed behavior. They redefined industries. That's impact. And with impact comes income, status, and freedom. The wealthy understand that when you help others get what they want, you'll always get what you need. But none of this matters if you burn out. That's why the rich protect their energy like their money. You can have millions in the bank, but if you're exhausted, anxious, and unhealthy, it's worthless. True wealth includes time, health, peace, and freedom. That's why successful people spend money on rest, nutrition, fitness, mental health, things that maintain the engine that generates their success. They see their body and mind as the first business they ever owned, and they invest in keeping it running smoothly. Money amplifies who you are, not who you pretend to be. So if you're stressed, overworked, or constantly chasing more, money will just make you more of that. The rich know this, and that's why they protect their energy first. Now, let's go back to something Grant Cardone said. Invest more money than you spend on discretionary items. That's not about deprivation, it's about direction. It's about deciding that your money should serve you, not the other way around. If you make $1,000 this month, don't ask how much you can spend, ask how much you can invest. Because every dollar you invest is an employee you send out to work for you. Most people don't realize this. They fire their dollars before they ever get the chance to perform. Cardone even said that professional athletes should invest most of their earnings instead of spending them on a lavish lifestyle. Why? Because careers peak, incomes drop, fame fades. But investments, if done right, keep growing. Eventually, you stop working for money and start living in your investments, your businesses, your real estate, your portfolio. That's real freedom. Here's another mindset the rich live by. Discipline beats desire. They know that discipline is like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets. One simple rule many use is the 30-day rule. If you want something that isn't essential, wait 30 days before buying it. Most of the time, you'll forget about it. And if you don't, at least you'll know it's not just impulse. That kind of delayed gratification is the backbone of wealth. Because every dollar you don't spend is a dollar you can invest, and every investment has the chance to multiply. And when you start seeing your money as soldiers instead of souvenirs, you'll begin to understand what the rich have known all along. Money is a game, and it has rules. The problem is, most people were never taught those rules. We're taught to trade time for money, save a little, and hope it's enough. But that system was built to keep you safe, not wealthy. The rich play a different game entirely. They think about leverage, not labor. They build systems, not savings accounts. They focus on multiplying value instead of collecting paychecks. So if you want to start thinking like the rich, stop asking how can I make more money, and start asking how can I make money work for me. Start small. Buy assets that appreciate. Invest in your skills. Learn how money moves. Set a goal not for how much you want to earn, but how much you want to invest each month. Maybe you start with $100, then $200, then $1,000. As your income grows, your investments should grow faster. That's how wealth compounds, through consistency, not luck. Remember, money follows motion. If you keep it stagnant, it loses value. If you set it in motion, through investment, creativity, or entrepreneurship, it grows. And one more thing, stop standing in your own way. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start thinking differently. Rich people aren't special. They just learned to think long-term, act with intention, and stay disciplined when everyone else was distracted. They didn't wait for the perfect time, they created it. They didn't just save, they built. They didn't compete, they collaborated. They didn't focus on looking rich, they focused on becoming free. At the end of the day, wealth isn't about having more things, it's about having more choices. It's not about luxury, it's about leverage. So here's the truth, you can keep working for money, or you can make money work for you. You can live paycheck to paycheck, or you can live in your portfolio. You can play small, or you can play the game the rich play. The game of long-term thinking, value creation, and disciplined growth. The path to wealth starts the moment you change how you think about money. That's how the rich do it, and that's how you should too. Watch the next video and see how the people who understand where the money's moving next always win. And if you're serious about staying ahead of that shift, hit subscribe, you'll want to see what's coming next. Oh, and if you're thinking of starting your own investing journey, take a look at the link in the description. It's the platform I personally use to explore global markets.